Whoa. Oh. that that might be the best look of me ever.
Oh my
Hold on.
God.
Let me flip this around here.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That's the best intro ever.
I like to I like to I like to make an entrance.
How are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm great. I
Are you staying warm?
finally got my unemployment benefits
Oh,
approved, and so I'm feeling a lot better than I was at the beginning of this week. That's for damn sure.
we will get to that.
Yes, yes. So,
Because I still have not gotten mine. And
oh,
from
that's no
everything I
good.
understand, and I was telling a friend as we were walking today, you have to contact your state rep in order to get it passed through. And I
Yeah,
was like, how ungodly ridiculous is that?
it's
How
it's
how inefficient is that you
it's
have? Okay.
extremely inefficient. You know, I wouldn't expect anything less from the state. I love the state of Tennessee for a lot of different reasons. This is definitely not one of them.
Yeah.
But I am thankful that we've got a great, strong representative in Gloria Johnson um, representing my particular congressional district. And
I think she's got a rep. Yeah, yeah, we're too close for her not to rep mine too.
yeah, no, yeah, I think anybody in the 37917
Okay.
zip
I
code.
can't, I don't even know her. I've never met her, but I
Ah,
feel like I got to give her a call. I don't know.
she's she's awesome. I've only met her a couple of times. I've been in her house several times, doing phone banking for Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah,
Um, but she wasn't always there.
yeah.
Um,
That sounds a little more nefarious than
but it was organized. She gave us permission to be in there.
we're going to use her house so they can't trace it back to us.
No, she was hosting the Elizabeth Warren campaign locally at
Okay.
her home, and so we did a lot of phone banks there. But she's great. She cares, um, and she doesn't seem to be at all bothered if you reach out to her.
Okay.
Um, so you're not going to get on her nerves, that's for sure.
Well, I know it sounds stupid. I just feel I don't want to say dumb, but I don't know. I feel like
uh,
it's an inefficient use of both her and my time to
I
have to mitigate this.
I agree. It shouldn't be that way, but it's unfortunately that's the landscape that's been painted for us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we'll
we'll circle back
yeah,
around.
yeah, we'll come back around that.
So
Uh,
here at the beginning, how about you tell a little bit about what you do?
okay. Well, I primarily do small business management and development. So I work with small business owners who are either launching new businesses or they're trying to grow their business and need help managing it. Um, so that's kind of the primary thing I do. But I pick up side projects doing all kinds of weird stuff. Um, I was the volunteer coordinator for Oktoberfest this past year for the Old City Association.
Yeah.
I've run a couple of home tours for city people. Um, and I do some career management stuff. I help people find jobs, change careers, um, resumes, cover letters, those kinds of things. So I cover a lot of ground, and somehow before all this madness, uh, scratched out a meager existence.
That's a lot of us.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's kind of the name of the game is figuring out how to piece it together. Can you see me okay? Am I
Yeah,
okay? Cool, cool.
I think
I
we're
was
both.
trying to
I
find the
think
right
it's
spot.
no sunlight. We're both like my face feels like I'm the Phantom of the Opera or something. Like I'm half in shadow too. Uh, So at the beginning of all this, were there a lot of the people that you work with kind of reaching out to you, freaking out about what was happening?
Um, I wouldn't say anybody was freaking, but I definitely every single one of them were like, okay, we're gonna need to we're gonna need to pump the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, until we know what have a better idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
Uh, we just we need to take it easy. That being said, I did have a couple of career management clients kind of come to me towards the beginning of all of this saying, I want to go ahead and get my resume done because, there's a job opportunity that I want to apply for,
Yeah.
regardless of what's going on in the macro world. There's still things going on a micro level for individuals. So,
Yeah.
um, that didn't last long, but I did have an initial early pop of additional business, but it was people who were trying to apply for jobs that they knew were open.
Yeah. Uh, were you yourself kind of concerned at the beginning of this?
I try not to get too wound up about anything, really speak.
You don't say.
I think you
You,
know me.
yeah, you've always been very even keeled. So,
I try to be.
yeah,
Every so often, it comes spilling out of me, and I know we're going to talk about the unemployment situation a little bit later, but that was one of those times where I was just like, oh my God, I am about
yeah,
to lose it, and I think I used those exact words.
yeah,
And so every so often I get pushed to the brink where I'm, the cool, calm, collected version of myself
yeah.
has to,
The regular version of yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, takes a back seat.
So, with all that stuff happening, were you kind of trying to help businesses find alternative ways to generate income?
Um, you know, I was trying to help businesses navigate the available aid.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and with one of the businesses, um, the owner is just such a creative person. He didn't really need much of my help brainstorming
Right.
uh, ideas. He just kind of was like, "All right, let's go. We're gonna do this now."
Yeah.
And so I've not had to necessarily be creative for others, but I've had to be creative for myself.
Yeah.
And that's been that's good enough in and of itself. But I think the true entrepreneurs, which are the kinds of people I work with, generally speaking, um, find a way um, to to keep going. You
Yeah.
know, find ways to reinvent themselves, find new avenues to generate revenue, or they were sitting on ideas they were wanting to try before but didn't have time to,
Yeah.
and now that they've got all the time in the world, it's like, all right, let's try this now.
Yeah.
Might as well. What do we have? What else do we have to do? Uh, so
Except, well, in my case, except for yell about money all the time.
yeah,
Because I didn't get my stimulus check until like the end of last week. I think,
yeah,
or maybe it was early this week. And I did
I
the math. It was like 6 months, 6 weeks after it got announced is when
yeah,
I finally got mine.
I just deposited mine today. So I got my unemployment and my stimulus check basically at the same time, and um,
Yeah.
not a moment too soon, but it would have been nice to, kind of stagger that out a little bit. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have had to sweat as much. But
Yeah. That was what was funny is they were talking about, this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. They're like, yeah, we probably need to do a second stimulus check. And I was just like, hi, can I
yeah,
get one? or can
Yeah,
you just go ahead and send me both at the same time? Like,
right.
what are you talking about? Like, uh,
Yeah, yeah. Let's get the first one done first before we start talking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Go ahead and start having those conversations.
yeah,
But there are still people who
no,
still haven't gotten theirs,
no,
and that's just a failure
yeah.
of
Uh, okay, so also in this time you're talking about, having time, are you kind of reassessing or thinking about other opportunities or reevaluating how you go after businesses or advise businesses in this kind of little bit of a lull?
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried to. I always try to keep my head on a swivel. Anyway, just as you know, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, you just kind of
Yeah,
have to keep your eyes and ears peeled for new opportunities, and you know, that I've just kind of done more of that.
right,
And in the meantime, I've just kind of found ways uh, to be productive and add value, even if it's not necessarily, directly benefiting me financially.
right.
I.e., starting the self-employed alliance of Tennessee group, or just walking around my neighborhood and picking up litter while I've been doing my daily walks.
Yeah,
So I haven't necessarily done much in the way of new revenue generating opportunities,
yeah.
but I've always kind of been more of a passive networker anyway, and so this just kind of is an extension of that.
Okay.
I'm going to turn some light on here. I feel like the sun's going down on
Yeah,
me.
the sun's
I don't know. I don't. Is that better? Is that?
now you got a halo around you.
Oh, that's always there.
Oh my
Hold
God.
on a second. Let me try to turn away from it. I don't know. I feel like just get. Maybe I just
This
need
is
to. Is
this is
that better?
amazing.
That's good. Okay. I guess is that good for you?
That's good.
Okay, cool.
See,
I'm standing up, but that's fine. I
okay.
need to stand anyway.
Like a stand-up desk. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same
Uh,
kind.
so are you staying pretty positive through these times?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yes. You know, unless I've had like I said, you kind of let my cooler head
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back seat. For the most part, I have been, and you know, I don't try. I generally speaking try to maintain a positive attitude because I do find sometimes when I'm dealing with clients, that I have to be the one to
right.
uh, be the voice of positivity or voice of reason when they feel like the world is falling around down around them.
Yeah,
Um, so that's kind of my natural disposition anyway, um, as it pertains to helping my clients
right.
do the same. Um, so yeah, you know, I've had very few days where I've just been like dejected, and feeling really down about myself or my situation.
Yeah,
Because I just kind of always have the mentality that things are going to be fine eventually.
yeah,
Um, that's not to say that you shouldn't be proactive and making sure that ends up being the case. But I find that, if you start from a negative place, um, then you're more likely to get a negative outcome.
right.
and the same is true for positive.
Right.
Um, Starting with a positive attitude. So, um, I would say 9 days out of 10 have been positive days, where I've kept a positive mental attitude. That
Yeah.
one day, though, you probably just don't even want to talk to me.
I think that last Saturday was that day for me, the last day of that for me, where I
Yeah,
got out of bed and I literally woke up. I was like, nope. And I just came in late on the couch. And I
yeah,
think I watched like two or three movies. I was like, no, my brain cannot function today. I'm
yeah,
just out of it for whatever
yeah,
reason.
yeah. You're a generally positive person too, though, and
Eh,
I I think there have been those days where I've just like I just don't have it in me, and
yeah,
I'll just lounge, because I know myself well enough to know that uh, that is not going to be a permanent condition.
right, right.
It's it's temporary. I just need to lean into it, um, you know, not fight it,
Yeah,
and you know, if I'm laying around long enough, I'm gonna something inside of me is gonna say, "All right, you gotta do something."
you
Yeah,
gotta get the hell
like,
up.
yeah. Sorry, you're not. That's not how this is gonna work.
Yeah,
So usually that when that moment hits, then it's like, all right, now I'm back into it, and I'm ready to
yeah.
try to make something happen.
Is that
Uh,
kind of what prompted the okay, what the hell is going on with the self-employment thing, or the unemployment thing? Is that did that kind of come out of one of those moments of like, all right, I got it.
yeah, yeah, I definitely think that that's a boulder I've been pushing uphill, for over a month.
Yeah,
And so, you know, uh, I've been tending to it. Um, but here towards in the last week or so, it's like, all right, now I got to really push hard.
yeah,
Um, or this may never happen, or
yeah,
maybe the state's going to find an excuse not to fulfill these benefits for self-employed people.
yeah,
You know, we're reopening everything, so sorry, you missed your window of opportunity.
yeah,
So yeah, I was definitely motivated by that, especially here in the last week or so, because watching our state um, push so fervently towards reopening everything,
yeah,
has kind of caused me to get a little bit more proactive, in making sure that my benefits were being processed. So yeah, I definitely think that that's one example of okay, I got to do something, or I'm going to really lose my mind.
did you apply for any of the other ones like the IDL or the PPP?
I did apply for the Idol, and I did get an advance on that. And that basically is what helped me cover my rent last month. Um, but it was definitely a lot less than what was originally. I think
Yeah,
people were expecting that to be a $10,000
yeah,
deal, and then they changed that at the last minute to $1,000 per employee. So that was frustrating. Um, but I was like, all right, fine. As long as I get my unemployment benefits processed here in the next week or two, that'll
yeah,
fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, I only applied for the unemployment and for the idle. I didn't deal with the PPP. The PPP to me, oh gosh, we probably shouldn't get into that.
well,
Um,
here's how I thought, and let's see if you agree. I was telling a friend of mine we were talking about the PPP, and he's like, "Now, did you apply?" I was like, "I don't want to accrue more debt. I
yeah,
understand it's helpful, but if I can like mitigate my mortgage, push it back 3 months. If I can do these things that I can then short term like knock out without having to add another monthly payment, I would
Right.
much rather do that. I'm gonna knock on all the wood I have in the world for that. That was just me. I was like, I told him, one of my buddies, and I don't make sure my dad's not on here. He was on here earlier, but it
Nice.
was like KUB is not cutting off power. And
Yeah.
I told my friend, I was like, I know this sounds shitty, but if I know they're not cutting off power, then they're going to be the last one to get
Right.
paid.
I
I
did
mean,
same
I
way.
know that sounds terrible,
Well,
but
this whole uh, interview is about creativity, and I feel like that's where I've had to be the most creative.
yeah,
Is okay, what bills can I, uh, afford not to pay right now?
yeah,
Um, you know, uh, so I have some money in my bank account to be able to buy food,
yeah,
or in the case of an emergency. Um, and so that's, I think, where I've had to be the most creative is like financially. All right, let's figure this out.
yeah,
And so that I guess that's one of the benefits of being self-employed is that you kind of get good at those kinds of tactics, generally speaking,
yeah.
because
That's what I was telling my buddy when we were talking about that. It's like I've been working for myself for a long time. I was like, I'm used to having to be scrappy with this
yeah,
stuff and
yeah,
being like, okay, this one will charge me a $5 late fee.
right,
It's like,
right,
is it better peace of mind wise to be like, I know I have a check coming in on Thursday and I'm
right,
going to get that five, but I know they won't do anything. So I'm just peace of mind. I'm going to
right,
be
right,
okay with that.
right. I'm going to keep the cash in my bank account for as long as I can.
And just try
Uh,
not, the game then is trying to not to me, let to me those stack up. Or like
right,
when I get a bigger job last fall, I immediately was just like, take
right,
all the
right,
money. Let's get ahead
right.
of everything. Let's get
Yeah,
caught
yeah,
up. Let's pay extra money to where
yeah.
if I hit a dip, this will be again knocking on all the wood in my.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm knocking with you. Yeah, I've had to play those games myself as well, and it's just survival,
Yeah,
and it's not a bad skill to have, especially during times like these.
yeah,
Um, the survivalist mentality goes a
yeah,
long way.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because I grew up pretty poor, and then when I worked at the paper, I already had taken a pay cut a little bit to work there to get out of a bad situation, and then they cut the pay even more,
ah,
and then cut the pay again to
ugh.
where I was down to. It was funny. It was two of my sales people. We were talking, and one of them said, "Man, you look like you've lost a lot of weight," and the other one, that's because he ain't eating. She didn't
Yeah,
even know. It's like, yeah, this is called the peanut butter for lunch, peanut butter sandwich for lunch, whatever I can bulk cook for dinner
yeah,
diet is what this is called. I was like,
yeah,
yeah. It's like, I just need food for nourishment. So I
yeah,
don't need to go ham on food.
yeah, yeah. No, it's people have been talking about, oh, the quarantine 15. I'm like, I've lost weight since all of this has been happening. Like I don't know where people are finding the extra cash to
Yeah.
to put on
Although,
extra
on the
time.
flip side, I was telling one of my buddies, I was like, I feel hungry a lot more often now. And
Hmm.
I'm eating like the same amount. And he was like, I think it's because you're not always occupied. Like
Right.
like you, I was always wanting to have a meeting or have this. And
Right.
even though it was like I wasn't eating, like at a coffee thing we were doing or something, it
Yeah.
was I I was occupied. My brain was so at that point it's like, well, it's 2:30 and some cheeses sound good right about now.
Right.
But yeah, he was like, I bet that's what that is because you're not bored, but you're just you don't have as much going on in your brain
Right, right, right. So
to
you have more
distract you.
time to, yeah, to think about, oh, when was the last time I ate?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's always at the front of my brain. When was the last time I ate?
nice.
Uh,
Yeah, I haven't had much of a lull in terms of activity wise.
right.
Um, I've definitely had a lull in terms of income generating activity.
Right.
But, you know, I helped with the Brew Relief fund and the auction. And so that happened pretty much immediately after everything started shutting down, or at least
Yeah.
the opportunity to participate with that. And so I jumped into that and jumped into a handful of other projects. So I've not had, the idle mind issue
Yeah.
on my end. You know, uh, so I guess that's a net positive, but I don't know how much more weight I can afford to lose.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of reaching the
Where I
broken.
can lose. I've got like one of you that I can lose. Your entire body weight. I can lose your entire body weight and still be healthy, probably.
You look great. You look
I'm
great.
just, uh, how do you feel about all this? Because you're so entrenched and incorporated with small businesses around town that are public businesses. How do you feel about all this, like opening up? How are you feeling? Positive, negative? It's too soon. Like, how are you feeling about all that?
I definitely feel like it's too soon for most.
Yeah,
I think any business that's not public facing, you know, yeah, I think maybe some of those businesses can start opening back up, but that even needs to be done in a certain way.
yeah,
This is to me, this is the heat of the meat. Is I'm not necessarily feeling like, okay, if I get tested and I test negative, I'm okay, everything's fine. I'm okay to go back into the public, into public
yeah,
and expose myself. Um, I I'm concerned about everybody else getting tested. So it's not about whether or not I'll feel safe me getting tested. It's whether or not I feel safe that everybody else has been
right,
tested.
right.
And so to me, until we reach that level of you know uh, comfort,
Yeah,
it's going to be really really hard to justify a mass reopening of businesses. The president gets everybody that comes into contact with the president of the United States gets tested.
yeah,
And he wants everybody to get back to work and blah 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 and I'm like, well, that's easy for you to say because everybody around you gets tested.
yeah,
If everybody around me that I come into contact with gets tested, then I'll probably be okay with getting back to
yeah,
work too. And
yeah,
and so it just frustrates me that there's this cavalier attitude of like, oh, you just risk it,
yeah.
take a chance. Um, you
That's what's
know,
blown my mind about this whole like. It's almost I almost want to call it like anti-mask movement. Of
yeah,
like I
yeah,
can't wear I that's my personal freedom, and I'm like, my personal freedom is that my mom was in the hospital for like a month during all this shit.
yeah,
Wear a mask because I
yeah,
couldn't see her for a month. Actually, I
yeah.
couldn't see her for like the full term of this until
Ugh,
like early this week. I was like, shut up and put on a
yeah.
mask.
I, I feel like people, when we talk about the the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, there's a reason why
Yeah,
life is the first one
yeah,
of those three.
yeah,
Um, because if you don't have life, then liberty doesn't matter because you're dead.
yeah,
Pursuit of happiness doesn't matter because you're dead.
Yeah.
And so, wearing a mask is just about the first one of those three
Yeah.
things.
I,
And not necessarily your own life, but the lives of others. So if you're concerned about the lives of others, you do the things to protect others because you would hope that they would do the same thing for you
right.
in
And
pursuit of life being
yeah.
a fundamental right. But, I guess that's just
To
my
to take
opinion.
yeah, yeah, to take it down to a base stupid level
Yeah.
is I feel like a jackass having the mask on because I just feel dumb. And it
Right.
cleans up my glasses and all that. And there's part of me that wants to just start pointing fingers, go, if I gotta feel like a jack, you all have to feel like
Yeah. Yeah, it's all or nothing. We should
yeah,
all be in this together.
yeah,
And yeah, it's not comfortable.
yeah.
It's not attractive. Well, some people can pull it off, I guess. Um,
I
but
can't show this off. I mean, come on.
right, yeah. I mean, gosh, I don't know how you do it, man.
I
Yeah.
wear a full handkerchief and actually tuck it into my shirt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I've
Nice.
seen some people with masks that are doing like this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like it can still like get up,
Right. Yeah,
like
you got to get the whole, yeah, you got to cover the full nose and mouth there.
yeah,
And in your case, the whiskers as well.
even a little bit of chest hair too, man. I got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
play it
that's
safe, man.
a good point. I need, I need to follow your approach. But yeah, I mean, nobody wants to do it. It's
No,
not, it's not something that people want to do, but if you care about your fellow man or
yeah,
woman, your fellow citizens,
yeah,
um, you do these things because you care about them and you want to protect them just in case you might be carrying this virus and don't know it.
yeah,
It's 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 not unreasonable. And I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, we should be really enforcing this and really making people follow the rules.
no,
But at the same time, you should want to
yeah,
because it's the right thing to do
yeah,
by society, by your community, by the people around you.
yeah. Uh, okay. Well, let's go into so did you get it? Let's go into positive.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Did
good
you
with
get a
that.
chance to watch the homework I sent, the music video?
I did, man, and when people
So
started,
yeah, so for those at home, the homework this week is Star and Micey's I Can't Wait. So I actually found this video in a weird roundabout way, which was our friend Angie Wilson would visit Knoxville. I do a podcast with them, and it was called Why Knox, and she wanted to use like the same intro music, and she sent me this email and said it's this Star and Mossy song. I can't wait, and I was looking it up, and I was like, no, it's not. I was like, I don't know, because I started deep diving, and I found out it's because this is a Memphis band, and they use them in a Visit Memphis video, and
ah,
whoever did that apparently emailed Angie. So it was just this all big. But I was like, oh my God, this song is amazing. And the video is creative as crap.
yeah, it
I was
is.
like, this is. So yeah, that's the. So I assume this was the first time you saw it too.
It
And
was. It was.
yeah.
It cracked me up some of the facial expressions people had when they got smacked. I like, did they know that this is what they were signing up for?
I think they did, but she like just did it. Like
Yeah,
they didn't tell. The
right.
funniest part to
There was no warning.
the first time I saw it where I started dying laughing is the three guys in the band are sitting in the room and she walks in and she does like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's this tiny human being and it's like, I'm gonna get you. It's like, what the
Uh,
what's going on? She's gonna shank him or something.
uh,
Yeah.
she was really laying into some like
Yeah.
it was not she like those are real real slaps.
But I love stuff like this because that doesn't cost. Like, what did that cost? Like
Oh
nothing.
yeah,
Like paint,
right.
the people running the camera and lights or what. I like down to. I was like, man, this was a very budget conscious video that was extremely unique and interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It was really well done, and you could tell it was done on a budget. But just goes to show that you don't need a big budget to do something cool, unique, interesting, fun.
Yeah,
Uh, and eye grabbing, attention grabbing.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I was that it was a cool video.
yeah,
I'm glad you turned me on to it. I didn't realize it was a Memphis-based band, so that makes
yeah,
it even better.
yeah. And it's wild because like if you listen to the lyrics, like they used it in a Visit Memphis ad, and it's like it still doesn't really fit. Like it's one of those things. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
really listen to the lyrics, it's like I heard you went to Tennessee. Thought you'd come back to me, and I was like, and then I watched the Visit Memphis ads. Like these don't. I wish you would have done a Visit Memphis ad where you actually use that as a piece, you know. But it was
Yeah,
just like, here's our aquarium. It's like, oh, never
yeah.
mind, never mind.
Yeah, like maybe most people are probably not paying that close attention.
No,
I don't know.
no, nerds like me,
You
they're
you
like,
would be.
hmm, hmm. But yeah, it's I end up pulling this up. I ended up showing it to a buddy of mine. I was like, man, I gotta show you this video just because I want to see your reaction. And the first smack, like I think he was taking a drink and it shot out of his nose. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I didn't expect that big of a reaction. Holy crap! Like it's amazing. I love it, man.
You just don't
It's
see it coming. Like,
no,
because
and it's
the way,
good.
yeah, just the way the video starts is it's kind of like a pretty typical okay
Yeah,
music video, and then
yeah.
she starts slapping people. Is like, oh, okay, this is
It's
that's different.
it's joyous, is what it is.
Yeah,
I know it's
yeah,
people getting smacked, but it's
yeah,
just joyous. It's so
yeah.
happy.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's something about it that just like okay, this is fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody, for the most part, everybody seems to be okay
yeah.
with it, even if they are a bit surprised when it happens.
And some of them, you can tell they're like, "Holy crap, that was a good shot!" Like it's this
Yeah,
tiny
yeah,
woman, and some of them are
yeah,
just like, "Good lord!"
yeah,
And I think there was one guy who fake got mad, and they like
yeah,
did like
yeah,
slow motion. I was like,
yeah.
"That's funny." It's
Yeah.
like that's pretty good. That
Her
only
tech-
one person got fake mad.
her technique was impeccable.
It was it almost reminded me of Fight Club where he tries to get him to hit him and he hits him in the ear. He's like, "You
Yeah.
hit me in the ear." Like that's how I felt about this video. It's like, "Holy crap, good lord." Yeah. All right.
Oh, that was great, man.
Well, I think
That's
that's it for us. Thank you so much for doing this.
dude, seriously, my pleasure. I appreciate you inviting me on
Yeah.
this.
Happy you got your unemployment. So this was a
Yes.
positive talk and not
It,
just a,
it,
those
it,
mother.
oh, yeah. Yeah, this could have gone a completely different way,
Yeah.
Jody, if we had done this last Friday. So,
And
uh,
I'm gonna swear on my questions. I will call Gloria on Monday and try and
do
get her.
it, man. She is incredible. She's the best. We're
Yeah.
fortunate to have her, and she'll make it happen for you.
Yeah.
I have 100% confidence in that. So,
Yeah, because it's why when I log in, it says I have money in there ready
yeah,
to be stipend
dispersed.
out.
Yeah. So
So
it hasn't, but it's not saying that the money has been paid to you yet, though.
no.
No. So until you get that message, and then you're still in limbo,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Damn it.
Uh,
We were on a positive note and I have to take it down.
ah,
Oh wait, I have a good way to end this on a positive note. All right. It's good seeing you. You ready?
yes.
Oh wait.
Oh,
All right.
did not see that coming.
See you, man.
Hey, take
Thanks.
care, dude. All right, see you, man.